The acrid stench of burning circuitry filled Commander Zayas' nostrils as he stared at the flickering hologram. Debris from what was once the pride of humanity's fleet drifted silently across the projection, each fragment a stark reminder of the lives lost in mere moments. Status report, he barked, his voice barely masking the tremor of shock. Lieutenant Ymir's fingers danced across her console, her eyes wide with disbelief. Sir, the Lojek's armada. They've completely annihilated the 7th Fleet. We've lost over 10,000 personnel in a single strike. Zayas' jaw clenched. The Lojeks, with their crystalline ships and incomprehensible technology, had seemed almost godlike when humanity first encountered them, but gods weren't supposed to be this cruel. And the Tijap, he asked, dreading the answer. Ymir shook her head. Still maintaining their neutrality, sir. They're refusing to intervene. Of course they were. The Tijap, with their towering forms and multifaceted eyes, had always preached nonviolence, even as the galaxy burned around them. They clung to their pacifist ideals. Zaid's hand hovered over the comm panel. The weight of what he was about to do threatened to crush him. With a deep breath, he opened a channel to Earth Command. This is Commander Zaitha. The 7th Fleet has been destroyed. Request immediate authorization for Protocol Omega. The silence that followed seemed to stretch for an eternity. When the response came, it was Admiral Corrin's gravelly voice that broke through. Zaya, are you absolutely certain? The commander's eyes drifted to the hologram once more, watching as the last remnants of the fleet faded into the void. Yes, sir. We have no other choice. Another pause, this one heavy with the knowledge of what was to come. Very well. Authorization granted. May God have mercy on us all. The channel closed, leaving Zayath alone with the weight of what he'd just set in motion. He turned to his executive officer, Commander Breck, whose face had gone ashen. Sir Breck whispered, Protocol Omega, it's genocide. Zayath's shoulders sagged. I know, Breck. But if we don't act now, humanity won't survive this war. As the crew began preparations for humanity's most devastating weapon, Zayatha retreated to his quarters. He had mere hours before they reached the Logic's homeworld, and the ghosts of 10,000 dead souls demanded his attention. I, Counselor Haxel of the Logic's Imperium, gazed out at the swirling nebula that surrounded their homeworld. The beauty of it never ceased to amaze him, even after centuries of life. But today, that beauty was marred by the looming specter of war. Your Grace, a voice chirped from behind him. Haxel turned to see his aide, Lyrith, hovering nervously. The human fleet has been dealt with. Haxel's crystalline form shimmered with approval. Excellent. Perhaps now they will see reason and surrender. Lyrith's antennae twitched uncertainly. There's more, Your Grace. Our long-range sensors have detected another human vessel approaching. A single ship on a direct course for our world. The High Counselor's eyes narrowed. A single ship. After we decimated their fleet, he shook his head. No matter. Destroy it like the others. As Lyrith scurried away to relay the orders, Haxel couldn't shake a growing sense of unease. The humans had proven to be resourceful adversaries. What could they hope to accomplish with a lone vessel? Aboard the Tijap diplomatic cruiser Harmony, Ambassador Nexer watched the unfolding conflict with mounting horror. His species' dedication to peace had always been a point of pride, but now it felt like a chain around his neck. Ambassador, his aide, Millura, approached, her multiple arms ringing together in distress. We've intercepted a transmission from the human vessel. They're carrying a weapon of unimaginable power. If deployed, it could wipe out the entire Logic species. Nexer's enormous eyes blinked rapidly as he processed the information. By the great void, he whispered. We cannot allow this to happen. Contact the humans immediately. We must negotiate a ceasefire. But as Millura turned to carry out his orders, alarms blared throughout the ship. On the main view screen, a blinding flash erupted from the surface of the Logic's homeworld. Nexer sank to his knees, all 6 of them buckling under the weight of what he was witnessing. We're too late, he murmured. May the cosmos forgive us for our inaction. Commander Zeta stood rigid on the bridge of his ship, watching as the Logic's world burned. The nanny swarm they'd unleashed was designed to target only Logic's biology, leaving their world intact but utterly devoid of life. It's done, Lieutenant Ymir reported, her voice hollow. Logic's life signs are dropping rapidly. total extinction projected within the hour. Zaitha nodded, unable to tear his eyes away from the horrific spectacle. Send word to Earth Command. The threat has been neutralized. As the crew carried out his orders, Zay felt a presence at his side. Commander Breck stood there, his face a mask of conflicting emotions. Was it worth it? Breck asked quietly. Did we just save humanity? Or damn ourselves? Zay had no answer. The line between victory and damnation had never seemed so thin. In the days that followed, news of humanity's actions spread across the galaxy like wildfire. The T-Jope, shaken from their neutrality, called for an emergency summit of all spacefaring races. Humanity found itself isolated, branded as monsters by some and saviors by others. Admiral Quarren stood before the United Earth Council, her decorated uniform feeling more like a shroud with each passing moment. Members of the Council, she began, her voice echoing through the chamber. I come before you to defend the actions taken in the Lojex conflict. Councillor Varek leaned forward, his eyes blazing. Defend? You authorized the complete annihilation of an entire species. How can you possibly justify such an atrocity? Quarren stood her ground. The Lojex left us no choice. They refused all attempts at diplomacy, destroyed our fleets without provocation, and made it clear their goal was nothing short of human extinction. We acted to ensure the survival of our species. At what cost? Another councillor, Zyra, interjected. We've become the very monsters we feared the Lojex to be. The galaxy will never trust us again. As the debate raged on, Commander Zayda sat in the gallery, a silent witness to the political fallout of his actions. The weight of billions of Lojex lives pressed down on him, threatening to crush his soul. A figure slid into the seat beside him, Nexer, the T-Jup ambassador. Zayda tensed, expecting condemnation, but the alien's expression was one of deep sorrow rather than anger. I do not envy the burden you carry, Commander Nexer said softly, but know this: your actions, horrific as they were, have forced my people to confront our own culpability. Our refusal to intervene allowed this tragedy to unfold. Zaytha turned to face the ambassador, surprise etched on his features. What are you saying? Nexer's multifaceted eyes seemed to shimmer with unshed tears. I'm saying that perhaps it's time for the Tijap to step down from our pedestal of non-intervention. The galaxy needs peacekeepers, not bystanders. As the Council's arguments echoed around them, Zaytha felt a glimmer of hope. Perhaps, from the ashes of this terrible conflict, a new era of galactic cooperation could arise. But first, humanity would have to face judgment for its actions. And as Admiral Quarren's impassioned defense continued, Zaytha knew that the real battle, the fight for humanity's soul, was only just beginning. The fate of not just Earth, but the entire galaxy hung in the balance. And somewhere out there, amid the stars, the ghosts of two fallen races, human and Lojex alike, watched and waited to see what would rise from the ashes of their conflict. As the council session drew to a close, Zaytha rose from his seat, a new determination burning in his chest. The war might be over, but the real challenge lay ahead, proving to the galaxy and to themselves that humanity deserved a second chance. He caught Admiral Quarren's eye as she exited the chamber, and a silent understanding passed between them. Whatever came next, they would face it together. For the sake of their species and for the future of all sentient life in the cosmos, they had to find a way to balance survival with morality. The true test of humanity's worth had only just begun.